Namaskar and a very good afternoon. I am Vigya Divedi. On behalf of Bureaucrats India, I welcome you all to today's edition of Bureaucrats India Dialogue. Bureaucrats India is India's most popular platform, highlighting the stories of good governance by bureaucrats across India. Today, on this very special episode, we have with us IRS officer Abha Rani Singh, CMD of the National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. From having done her MPhil in sociology from JNU to various certificate courses in creative problem solving, demystifying mindfulness, a life of happy and fulfillment, social psychology, Buddhism, modern psychology, and others, she has made her approach and drive a lot more thoughtful. With over 2 decades of rich experience in bureaucracy, she has seen a sea change in the ways bureaucracy works and the transition from handling heaps of documents manually to a streamlined technology-driven system. We welcome you, ma'am, to our show and look forward to have your insights and perspectives. Now I request my colleague Pragya Lal to please carry forward the conversation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vigya, for the introduction. We welcome you, ma'am, on Bureaucrats India. Let me start with my first question. You have a rich experience of over 2 decades in bureaucracy as an IRS officer. How has your background influenced your approach to managing the National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation, that is NMDFC?
First of all, I would thank you, Pragya, for inviting me for this talk. I have been working for last 27 years, more than 27 years, and the skill sets which I developed, as an IRS in Income Tax Department, managerial skills like communication skills, working with team, leadership skills. These are, these would help me, and rather they are helping me in running NMDFC. Apart from that, in IRS we have certain value set which we give prominence, that like focusing on integrity, professionalism, collaboration. So all these value sets I have brought with me to this organization, and this is, I can tell you that this is certainly helping me in functioning here as well.
That's great, sir, ma'am. As the CMD of NMDFC, could you elaborate on the corporate's mission and vision, particularly in the context of economic empowerment for minority communities?
NMDFC was established in 1994 with a focus on helping people from marginalized sections by providing them concessional credit, and it is also called priority sector lending. These loans are obviously not big loans, and in many cases even collaterals are also not required. These are basically for targeting the marginalized minority section in the society, because they had less access to education and less access to credit also. And we have our motto here at NMDFC is development with dignity. We provide certain kind of a financial help so that they can start their own business, they can stand up on their own feet, and also provide employment to other people. So this has been the basic motto of the company, and I'm very happy to announce you that so far we have extended a credit of approximately 8,771 crores, and around 23.85 lakh beneficiaries have been benefited out of it. Certainly, I know that it's not too much, but I can certainly assure that this is going to increase in future, and whatever is required to be done, I'm certainly on it.
No, seriously, ma'am, the kind of work NMDFC is doing, it's very important for India's minority community. They really need this kind of credits and skill development. With a focus on skill development and vocational training program, could you elaborate on NMDFC strategies to ensure the sustainability and scalability of these initiatives?
Okay. You know, what I would like to share here is that basically at present we are not focusing on the programs of skill development. That is now being covered by the ministry, our ministry, that is Ministry of Minority Affairs. They are actively engaged in skill development programs and projects. But we are planning to have a collaboration kind of a thing with these kind of centers, so that people who are getting trained in a particular skill and they want to start a certain entrepreneurship, then that time the credit facility is available to them. So we are working on a strategy so that we should collaborate together. Once they are trained on certain skills, the credit facility is also available to them. So we are working on this kind of roadmap currently.
Great. So, during your previous posting in CBDT, you have worked in various departments. How was the experience and what evolution have you noticed in the entire taxation system? How robust is the transparency now with all the technologies available?
I must say that the journey has been, eventful. Eventful means it sums a lot. When
How
I
long have you been in CBDT, ma'am?
pardon.
How long have you been in CBDT?
CBDT, I did two stints. First, I worked there as under secretary for 3.5 years. In
Okay.
2004 to 2007, and then again I worked for 4 months in 2023. So first that time I was commissioner ITA there. So I can tell you that yeah, as you said, that there has been a total shift in technology. When we were like there, manual files were there, everything was done manually. For when parliamentary questions used to come, we used to fax them to the field authorities, and then they will also fax us in return the answers. But nowadays what's happening, everything, like we also have our ready-made database. We did not write for everything to the field formation. We can ourselves compile and give it to the parliament. Many cases we are writing mails, we are continuously following, fax is out, that much I can tell you. Another thing is that e-office has started working on in the offices of CBDT, and less and less paperwork is being done there. So mostly we are working on computers. This has definitely, helped in bringing out efficiency in the working of the officers. Also, the required database is available to us. We no longer, required to go for everything to the field formation, and transparency, of course. It has contributed to transparency a lot.
Yeah. So you have a diverse range of certificate courses from creative problem solving to Buddhism and modern psychology. How have these varied fields contributed to your professional approach and decision making?
Okay. Uh, I want to share with you that I am a perennial learner. So whenever I complete one course, I shift to the other course. But why I happen to choose this kind of courses is also very interesting. Because see, I can give you example of two courses which I did. One is the creative problem solving. So generally what happens, when we are, as a manager, we are taught to uh, some kind of literature about how to solve the problem and all that. But we all know, after some extent, whatever we are trying to do to solve the problem will not help us. As all of us know, like this, much abused phrase, like think out of box, think out of box. So there is now a new name for it, creative problem solving. So I mean, what else can you think, when the traditional SOP is not working? So this was the trigger for that course, and You know, I basically I follow Buddhist philosophy, you know, and why I love it is that the core concept of Buddhism is change, you know, and as a bureaucrat, change is happening every day. So the best philosophy to learn about change and how to cope with this change, how to manage this change, in my view, is the Buddhist philosophy. So that's why I keep reading about it, and it has certainly helped me to cope with the changes, like the changes which I have witnessed, you know, as an officer in the department. And the worst aspect of it is to take everybody on the board when you introduce any kind of a change. So that is how, you know, and psychology, of course, it helps you in assessing people and making a better team.
Helps you managing people and yeah,
Yeah,
that is
basically.
the integral part of bureaucracy.
Yes, yes, we have been dealing people.
Okay. So you've conducted several impact studies also, including on the Swachh Bharat mission and the effectiveness of online training programs.
Mhm.
What key insights from these studies have you applied to operationalize your strategy?
Okay, so I will give you example of what when I did my study on Swachh Bharat mission. So basically, I was focusing on the expenditure on IEC towards this program. And what I learned from that program is that instead of investing more on IEC, I'm not ruling out that IEC is not important, because when I was talking to people, they said they know about Swachh Bharat Mission, but the thing is there were problems in providing infrastructural facilities and the operational aspects of it. So my learning point from this project was that we should focus more on operational aspects of any mission and providing required infrastructural facilities to the people to move the project ahead. If we are not providing these kind of help, then spending on IEC will not of much help. Another thing I would talk about, like online training. It was rather forced on us because of the coronavirus
COVID.
that
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
And what I learned that whenever I was conducting online courses, I found that people were not much interested. They just put their screen. They are there. They will switch off their mic and switch off their video. I was not sure whatever I'm talking is making any sense to people. Then I thought, why not have a survey? And then what I found is that it's not that much effective. And the first fallout of this learning thing was that I stopped taking online classes because I don't find them effective at all.
Yes, but that's the course of today's world now. Online meetings, and you cannot do away with that.
No, we cannot do away with that. It can only, at best, I can say that it can supplement.
Hmm.
It cannot be the primary thing for training.
Yes, of course.
It cannot replace the classroom.
The conventional classroom, of course.
Yes, yes.
Um, as a visiting faculty at various prestigious institutions, how do you balance your role in academia with your professional responsibilities? How do both roles enrich each other?
Okay. Uh, I have been working for so many years and acquired lots of experience during all these years. And as a senior officer, it is also my duty to mentor people, in the department or outside the department. And I take this role very seriously. I'm also a resource trainer for DOPT, and I love to share my experience with people if it makes any sense, uh, to the participants. That is the first thing. Second thing is, we all have 24 hours in a day, and things you like, you certainly you tend to make some kind of a time for that particular activity. So as I already shared with you that I'm a perennial learner. So I always try to take out some time, maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hour. Uh, till today, somehow I managed to read 50 pages every day, whatever is of my liking. So I try to manage that with my job, and I can tell you at this point of time, job is of course my priority because that is my primary function. But at the same time, I try to make a time for visiting various institutions. When DOPT deploys me for a particular training at a particular place, then I try to go. But my job as CMD certainly takes precedence.
Great, ma'am. You have done your studies from JNU. So, how does your background in sociology in JNU influence your approach to handling the socio-economic challenges faced by minority communities?
Okay. Uh, Sociology is, once you are a student of sociology, you are always a student of sociology. And the kind of training which I got in university about, the sensitization towards the problem of the marginalized community, and the strenuous academic exercise about, collecting the data, examining the various point of view, existing point of view regarding that particular issues, and then coming out with a certain kind of a conclusion. So this strenuous academic exercise is still with me, it won't go away, and it helps me both the sensitization towards the requirements of the deprived communities, and the academic discipline helps me in taking decisions after studying every aspect of a problem. And also anything, if I want to decide, there has to be, that thing has to be backed by the adequate data.
Mhm.
uh, Otherwise, it won't help. Any policy making in the air is not going to help people. Another important aspect of sociology is that, as we all know, it's the study of society, and society, we all are part of, the community. And there are chances of 100% chances of bias coming creeping into whatever we think, whatever we decide. But we have been taught, we have been trained to recognize our biases, before coming to any conclusion, so that it doesn't blind us with taking a particular kind of a decision. We have to be aware of what kind of biases are our own biases, personal biases are likely to creep into it. So these kind of things have certainly helped me in understanding the problems uh, of socioeconomic conditions of the minorities, and it is helping me, in my working, day-to-day working.
Great. मैम, आपने बताया कि 27 साल से ज्यादा का एक्सपीरियंस है आपका ब्यूरोक्रेसी में। तो ऑफ कोर्स एक बहुत बड़ा ट्रांजिशन देखा है आपने फ्रॉम मैनुअल, जैसा आपने बताया मैनुअल फाइलिंग। तो हाउ हैव यू अडेप्टेड योर सेल्फ फ्रॉम दिस डिजिटल वर्ल्ड, एंड किस तरह से आपने अपने आप को अडेप्ट किया इस चेंज के लिए?
Okay, I'll tell you कि जब मैं when I joined this service, the first time when we came from academy, we saw, computers in cartons.
Mhm.
And before that, we were supposed to do OJT, एक on job training होती है, which was we all of us did in Nagpur. Nagpur is our academy, is there. So when we went to the income tax office, what we saw, the officer is sitting on a wooden chair, and the table is full of files, dust, full of dust.
Okay.
Then there are two big almiras with records, and all of them are full of dust.
Mhm.
Mind you, we all were so depressed to see that office, and when we came back, अरे future क्या होना है हमारा? But when we came to the field and we saw the AC, because AC came with the computers, so we got the PCs and we were so happy. First time we got dot metrics, and but the problem was that we were not very much familiar with how it works. So first of all, it was challenge to learn everything, and that time itself, the PAN allotment program has started in the department. First time when we joined, and we all were given the assignment of allotting pen to the taxpayers. So we thoroughly enjoyed, and we were introduced to computers through this, and gradually we learned to type on computers. We used to pass our orders, take printouts from that primary function. Within 3 to 4 years, LAN system came. So then we started working on that LAN system. Then internet came. When internet came, it, government offices, resisted them like anything. That people will engage in watching other things other than they will waste their time. But we all know how internet is important for everyone. So then we got internet also. Now, uh, when we joined as assessing officer, we used to, write for one refund. We used to put 4 signatures. Nowadays, everything is like mechanized. You just file your return online. You get your refund by the same day or the next day. There is no human intervention involved. You can, if you want to file your complaint, you can file your complaint online. You get the response of the department. And not only the technological infrastructure of the department, now we are also there on the Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. So I see people writing about complaints. They're complaining over LinkedIn, they are complaining over Twitter, they are complaining over Facebook, and
Yeah.
they're
People are more connected now.
yes, yes, and that has helped us first the outreach with the taxpayers. First thing, that is all we wanted. That the kind of iron curtain about the department, that how it functions, is not no longer there. We have a friendly face. Earlier people used to, whenever they used to ask us ki kaha kaam karte hain, and we used to say income tax department, then they used to tell us, "Arey wahan bahut corruption hai." But I can tell you with 100% confidence, nowadays at least this is not coming back to us
It's transparency, accurate.
because of the transparency, because of it has expedited the work also. You know, like same day returns are being processed. Nobody could have imagined in those days. So it has made our work easier, and certainly new technological intervention when means we all have to be on board. That resistance is also gone now. Whenever new software, everything is coming, everybody is very enthusiastic about learning about it, and we all have learned. And we have e-offices now in all our offices, including NMDFC. So it's a totally paperless office. We are working on computers only. So I am 100% sure that these technological interventions are good and a very important part of good governance.
Yes.
So it is going to stay, and I'm sure more and more development will take in this area, and the work will become more smoother, easier, and more accessible to the people.
Yes, I'm sure. Ma'am, now we are inching towards the end of the interview. So tell us something about your family, your personal life. What are your hobbies?
Okay. Um, I am married to a fellow IRS officer, but he is no longer in the IRS. He is posted as member in Income Tax Appellate Tribunal now for last 6 years, 7 years rather. He's working as member there, and I have got 2 kids. Elder one is my daughter. She has just been placed with Ernst& Young Parthenon Singapore, and she will be joining next month there. My son is in third year engineering CSE from Triple IT Delhi. So this is my family, and
We can say the intelligence and academics runs in the family. All are placed so well.
uh,
Your daughter, your son.
intelligence along with hard work. I
Yes.
won't rely solely on intelligence, because my daughter has been like very consistent and uh, in her efforts. She has been hardworking, and I can tell you that I am a blessed mother because she never gave me any trouble. She always studied on her own, and I was lucky in that sense. It is not that my son has troubled me, but she was focused from the beginning itself. So I am lucky in that sense, and both the kids, they apart from giving certain guidance or talking to them, most of the time they were on their own in their studies.
ओके मैम, अभी हमने देखा यूपीएससी का रिजल्ट आया था, तो यू वर्ड फॉर द एस्पिरेशनल ऑफिसर्स जो आईएएस यूपीएससी एग्जाम, आपने बताया कि हार्ड वर्क, परसिवरेंस एंड ऑफ कोर्स डेडिकेशन गोज doing this UPSC exam. So a few advice to the aspirational IAS officers.
Okay. I would say that of course those who want to choose it as a career, for them hard work and study and all that you know is very important. But what I would like to suggest is that the hard work should be in a particular direction. Directionless work will not help because we all know the syllabus is very hard. It covers everything on this earth. So we have to be very particular about what we are studying and when we are studying, how much time we are devoting. Uh, in our time, because I can tell you about myself. When I wrote my civil services exam, I was in JNU, and everybody is like, somebody is studying for 16 hours, somebody is studying for 18 hours, but I could never study that much. I think for me, it was 12 hours at the most. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं मैं पढ़ सकती थी, but right kind of optional you should select, because if you are selecting any optional because the other people are taking it, and there is a trend that these people are getting marks in that particular optional, is not going to help. Unless you like that optional, please don't take that optional, because you have to be very thorough with your optional. So that is one thing. Second thing, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So I would also suggest that take frequent breaks, because it energizes you, it recharges your mind, and also you try to follow one hobby. Like if you want to, if you like music, music clears lots of clutters from your mind. Or suppose you are a fitness freak, after studying for 2 hours, 3 hours, you can go out for a jog, you can go out for a walk. So it will give you, a time for reflection for whatever you have studied during those hours. So that's why it's very important. Continuously sitting will only make you sick. I'm telling you. So just go out, reflect also. Go with walk in the nature. Go to the park, not in a crowded street. Sit in the park, do some reflection. Uh, you can do meditation also. Nowadays, so many modules are available on um, internet also. YouTubes are there. So all these things, music, walking, some kind of physical exercise, is very important for you to energize yourself.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for this insightful perspective. I'm sure our audience will be benefit with this advice. Now I request Vigya to propose the vote of thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, Pragya ma'am. I would like to thank Abha ma'am for engaging with us today and sharing her insights. I'm sure all our viewers as well as our team would benefit greatly. We are forever grateful to the viewers and followers of Bureaucrats India who motivate us to keep bringing stories of good governance and positivity. I would also
Thank you.
like to thank our viewers for efforts in the backend have made this show possible today. Thank you all. We'll see you in yet another episode of Bureaucrats India Dialogue. Pragya ma'am, would you like to add anything?
No, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you, Vidya.